That super common falling ladder problem often has a follow-up question which has to do with the angle measurement. So on exercise 10b, the 10-foot ladder, a 10-foot ladder, it's the same one it was before, rests against a vertical wall. Let theta be the angle the ladder makes with the ground. So you can see this happening like right over here. This is the angle that we're talking about. And of course, this is still moving out. This is still moving down. And as it moves out, as this ladder slides away from the wall, this theta is changing. Okay. If the bottom of the ladder slides away from the wall, constant rate, or at a rate of 1 foot per second, just like it was before, what is the rate of change in theta when the bottom of the ladder is 10 feet from the wall? Well, we have a picture that's very convenient, but let's just think about this for a second. Okay, so again, the ladder is sliding away from the wall, positive, it's getting bigger, and then the distance, the height here is going to be decreasing, so it's negative. Well, what do you think of the theta? What's happening with the theta? Is it getting bigger or is it getting smaller? Well, here, let me sketch another little picture in here as this, at some other instant when this thing slides down, and then here's our theta. So we can see that the theta that was here, theta that's here, it's shrinking down, so it should be negative, right? Whenever this thing is completely on the ground, like it was right here after it has fallen all the way down, once it's completely on the ground, of course, that theta is going to go to 0, right? So that, again, is indicating that we should expect when we're all done some sort of negative value there. All right, let's list out all of our quantities like we did before. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not going to relist them. I already have them right here. I'm just going to copy and paste them like so. So here, let's copy that guy and then paste that guy in a weird location. There we go. Now, I may have to change some stuff. Specifically, I don't need dy dt because we're looking for what is the rate of change in theta? So it's a d theta dt. That's what's equal to question mark this time. So obviously this is not going to be a Pythagorean theorem situation because the Pythagorean theorem never takes into account an angle measurement like this one here. So what does is right triangle trigonometry, either a sine, a cosine, or a tangent. Since I have, it looks like my quantities already listed out, I think I'm ready to go ahead and set up that related rate equation. So let me get rid of some of the stuff in the picture, make this thing a little bit cleaner, like dibba-dibba-dib. All right, there we go. And you might think that we're going to use tangent because we have a y value here, which is changing. We have an x value here, which is changing. And remember that this hypotenuse was staying 10. So let's just assume that we were doing tangent. So tan theta is equal to the y, the opposite, over the x. Okay, so let's talk about this before we even actually use this, because you know what? I'm not going to use it. Just so you know. When I take the derivative of the tangent, that's not a problem, but over here on the right-hand side, when I take the derivative of y over x, first thing, I'd have to use the quotient rule, which we can handle, but it does complicate things a little bit. But in the process of taking the derivative of y, then that means that we would have to multiply it by dy dt. Okay, if this question followed part A, as it does here, that wouldn't be such an issue because we found what dy dt was. It was that negative 3/4. But sometimes this question is all by itself. It didn't have find dy dt that preceded us. And if it didn't, we'd have a lot more to do to go back and figure out what the dy dt is. But you know what? There's a way to avoid it. We have given to us the x value. We have given us the dx dt. We don't have to involve the y at all because there is a trig ratio that just takes these two things into account. Let's see, this is the adjacent side. That's the hypotenuse. Let's use instead cosine. It's the cosine of theta. What is that? It looks like a G. Of theta is equal to my adjacent side is x and my constant side, or my hypotenuse is 10. Okay, now then, on this particular example, now when I take the derivative of the right-hand side, I don't have to use the quotient rule because the 10 is just a constant down here. It's like the coefficient 1/10. Also, I will have a dx dt that's part of it, which I have given to me, right? And I'm going to have a d theta dt over here on the left-hand side, which is what we're looking for. Now, it's usually at this point, kids freak out. Like, what am I supposed to do if this is a non-calculator part in order to find the cosine of that angle? Well, you don't have to worry about it. They're giving us values for this particular right triangle, right? They gave us 10 here. They gave us 6 for the x value, which means that we should be able to calculate a sine, a cosine, a tangent in terms of just a ratio and completely bypass the angle. You don't need to know the angle at all. And that's very common for these questions. Whoa. All right. Anyway, I think that we are ready to take the derivative. Are you ready to take the derivative? Excellent. That was me pretending like you guys collectively screamed. Yeah. Okay, on the left-hand side, the cosine theta, its derivative is a negative sine theta. Don't forget the chain rule. D theta dt. And there's the negative that we expected, right? That angle is actually shrinking down. On the right side, the derivative of x over 10 is 1/10. And then also chain rule times a dx dt. And we are looking for a d theta dt, so let's isolate it. Let's divide this sine over to the other side, this negative sine theta. So d theta dt, I'll just throw the negative out front, 1/10 dx dt over sine theta. Okay, all right then. So let's, I think that we're ready to plug stuff in, aren't we? I think we are. Let's try it. D theta dt is equal to negative 1/10. Dx dt, if you will recall, is just 1 over, oh, what about this? The sine of theta. We don't even know theta. But come on, we don't need to know theta. I'm going to draw a picture here. Let's pretend that the triangle is facing this way. That's the way my brain works. There's the theta. And remember that the ladder, no matter what, is 10. And it gave us the x value down here at the bottom as being 6. Not drawn to scale since the height's got to be 8 anyway. So the sine is exactly the opposite side here. The opposite side being 8 and the hypotenuse being 10. It's 8 over 10. 8 over 10. Voila. All right, and then I want to cancel some stuff. I can just cancel these 10s down the bottom. Essentially, it's like multiplying this by 10 over 10. And then I get d theta dt is equal to negative 1/8. What is the unit on this? There aren't any. And the reason why there aren't any is because the angles are unitless. I know it sounds weird, but radians is what we're using. Remember, here, let me come back up here and highlight this. All of calculus takes place with radians. And calculus pretends like degrees never existed. It's just in radians. So what was the time value on this? I think it was in seconds, so it's radians per second. So there we have it. We had a decreasing angle. It is decreasing at a rate of 1/8 radian per second when the ladder is 6 feet away from the wall.